So, hello everyone. Um, Now let's check how we can solve a problem called Valid Palindrome, and let's check what we are given. So, we are given a string S, and we will need to return true if it's a palindrome, and false if it's not. And also we will need to consider that character should be a letter or a digit, and we need to ignore all other characters. And also the case of a character doesn't matter. So below we have an example where we have a sentence, a man, a plane, canal, and Panama. And in that case, we need to return true, because if we try to read it vice versa, you can notice that we will get the same sentence. And also we have another example where we have race a car, and in that case it will be false, because if we read it vice versa, it will not be the same. So now let's go and answer to some questions. I hope it will help you better to understand the task, and maybe it will be easier to solve this task by yourself. And let's check what kind of questions. So what is a palindrome? Why we need to ignore spaces and permutations, and what pattern or technique can be used here in order to solve this task. So I suggest you to think a little bit and answer to these questions by yourself, but let me do it right now. So what is a palindrome? Yes, the most important thing to understand. So a palindrome is a string that reads the same forward and backward. Why ignore spaces and punctuations? So the task only cares about alphanumeric content and not formatting. And because of that, we need to ignore spaces and punctuations. And what pattern fits here? So in my opinion, we can use here two pointers, which we have already seen in previous tasks. Why? Because here we can use pointer left and pointer right, which will point to element from the left and element from the right side. We will be able to compare them and to see if they are equal. If they are not equal, it means that it's 100% not a palindrome. Okay, now let's go and to see how we can implement this. So let's create our method, public static, like always. And like we already seen in the condition, we need to return true if it's a palindrome, or false if it's not. So here we need to use boolean, and let's call our method is palindrome. Is palindrome, and like argument here, okay, and like argument here we want to use string. Yeah, it can be a word, it can be a character, it can be a sentence, but overall it's a string. Okay, now how we already identified, we want to use two pointers technique here, and for that we will need two pointers. One will indicate the first element from our array, initial, yeah, left, which is on the index 0, and int right, which will point to the end of our word in first iteration, and the index will be equal to word length -1. Okay, cool. And now let's iterate through our word. For that, let's use a while loop, and the condition will be that left should be always be less than right. Why so? Because we don't want to intersect left and right, because it will mean that we compare the same element, which we don't want to do, because if a word, for example, has only one character, it's already a palindrome. Yeah, so we want to compare two different characters, and because of that we have this condition. And also another condition is that we want to skip elements which are not digits or letters. For that we also can use while, and we can check if the current element, for example, from the left is not letter or digit. So we put here a negation. Word left. We just keep it. So we need to increase the left. Yeah, we need to move on the right. So let's increase it. And the same we need to do, but for right. Yeah, so if a current element from the right is not a digit or a letter, then we need to decrease it. So we need to move at left. Okay, now when we already prepared all the conditions, let's check the elements, yeah, if they are equal. And also we need to ignore the case. Why so? Because we want to be sure that A in uppercase is equal to A to lowercase. So let's make both characters to be lowercase. To lowercase. Word. And this should be equal. Oops. Char at left. So we're to lowercase. Or char. Okay, probably I need to add more arguments here. So lowercase. Where is the mistake? Sorry. Okay, yeah. We need to write till to the end the condition. So if it's not equal to lowercase word char at right, if they are not equal, let's return false, because it's not a palindrome. And in the end of this iteration, we will need to increase the right pointer and to decrease the left pointer. And if we iterate through all our sentence and false wasn't returned, it means that characters from the left was equal to characters from the right. So it's a palindrome. So let's return true. Okay, now let's check how our method is working. Let's do like this. Check. Okay, somewhere we have a mistake. Probably the left, right, word length. Left, Yes, I see the mistake. So here we also need to add a condition. So left should be less than right. And here also. Why so? Because when we increase or decrease right, this is not validated yet, because we increase and decrease inside our loop. So this condition cannot check what is happening inside. It's not seeing what is inside. So for that we need to do it right here, yeah, on our loop. So now let's check again. Okay, still a mistake somewhere. Okay, let's see. The lowercase word char at, if they are not equal. Okay, I see. So here is not correct. So left we need to increase and right we need to decrease. Now it looks good. let's check like this. What will happen? It's false. And now let's do something like this. Okay, so I think it's working. Now let's go and analyze our solution. So the time complexity is O(n) because we iterate through the string once, and the space complexity is O(1) because we use only two integer pointers and no extra data structures, no copy of a string, and so on. So in my opinion, I think that this complexity is okay, it's good. So we can leave our solution how it is and move to next tasks.